For 25 years, I lived with a ghost, my son's ghost. He vanished one ordinary afternoon, and the world kept spinning as if nothing had happened. The police stopped searching, my wife stopped breathing, and I stopped living. Every night I prayed for a miracle that never came. Then last week, inside a small grocery store, I saw him, alive, breathing, laughing. My knees almost gave out. My heart forgot how to beat, but when our eyes met, the truth I saw there didn't bring peace. It brought something darker. What I learned that day didn't just rewrite my past. It destroyed everything I believed about love, family, and forgiveness. I followed him outside, every step trembling between disbelief and rage. His voice, his walk, it was him. My son, Adam. The same scar under his ear, the same nervous habit of rubbing his fingers when thinking. But he looked older now, confident and happy. Too happy for someone who was supposed to be dead. He got into a black car parked across the street. I froze when I saw who sat behind the wheel, my wife. The woman who had spent 25 years crying beside me, mourning his death. My breath caught. My world cracked in half. They drove off together, laughing. The same laugh I hadn't heard in decades. In that moment, every sleepless night, every tear, every prayer turned into pure, sharp fury. That wasn't grief I'd lived with all those years. It was a lie. A beautifully crafted, cruel lie. And I knew right then, I wasn't going to mourn anymore. I was going to find out why. The next night I followed them. My heart thudded like thunder in my chest as I drove with headlights off, keeping distance. They stopped at a small house on the edge of town, the one she used to say belonged to her cousin. I parked nearby, hidden behind the trees, and waited. Through the window I saw her, my wife. She laughed as Adam kissed her forehead. They looked nothing like mother and son. Their hands lingered too long, their smiles too soft. A chill crawled down my spine. Inside that house I found my truth, and it was darker than death itself. Old photos of them together from the years I thought my boy was gone. Letters, bank records, my money, my savings, all under her name and his. She hadn't lost our son. She had hidden him, raised him in secret, groomed him to replace me. For 18 years I swallowed pills thinking she was easing my pain. But those pills weren't for peace. They were for blindness. Now I was wide awake. I waited until the clock struck midnight, the same hour she used to drug me into silence. This time, I was the one who stayed awake. I stood outside that little house, rain falling hard, washing away the last bit of hesitation left in me. Through the window, I saw them, laughing, drinking, touching. My wife and the man who used to call me father. My blood boiled. I kicked the door open. The glass shattered. Her scream filled the room. Adam froze, his face pale, his hand still wrapped around hers. "Dad," he started, but I cut him off with a glare sharp enough to kill. "Don't," I said. My voice was low, trembling with rage. "You lost the right to call me that when you took what was mine." She tried to speak, but I didn't let her. I walked straight to the table, picked up the same pill bottle she used to hand me every night, and slammed it down in front of her. "For 18 years, you put me to sleep so I wouldn't see this." My eyes burned. But tonight I didn't take it. Tears filled her eyes. "It's not what you think. Then tell me," I snapped. Was it worth it? My trust? My life? Our son? The silence that followed was louder than any scream. Adam looked down. She looked away. That was enough. I turned and walked out, leaving them to choke on their guilt. That night, I didn't go home. I went to the police with the pills, the bank records, the proof of what she'd done. She thought she'd stolen 18 years of my life, but I was about to take the rest of hers. The next morning, the rain had stopped, but inside me a storm raged louder than ever. I hadn't slept. I didn't need to. For the first time in years, my eyes were fully open. At the police station, I placed the evidence on the table, the forged documents, the hidden bank account, and the medical reports showing years of sedatives in my system. The officer looked at me like I was a man crawling out of his own grave. "How long?" he asked quietly. 18 years, I replied. 18 years of being poisoned in my own home. They arrested her that afternoon. The moment they put handcuffs on her wrists, she didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just looked at me, calm, almost relieved. "I knew this day would come," she said softly. "But I didn't expect you'd still love him enough to destroy us both." I stared at her, my voice steady. You destroyed me a long time ago. I'm just finishing the story. She was taken away, and for the first time in almost 2 decades I felt light. Not happy, not free, just empty in a way that didn't hurt anymore. Adam tried to visit me that week. I refused to see him. I wasn't ready. But he left a letter. I didn't open it for days. When I finally did, his words nearly broke me all over again. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to stop it. I was too weak, too ashamed. I wanted to hate her, but she was all I had left when you disappeared into silence. I was a coward. I don't expect forgiveness. But please know, I never stopped being your son. I folded the letter and placed it in the same box where I'd once kept his childhood drawings. I didn't forgive him. Not yet. Maybe I never will. But for the first time, I saw the boy I once loved hidden behind the man I'd come to despise. Months passed. The house was quiet again, but not with grief this time. With peace. I sold it, packed my few belongings, and moved near the sea. I bought a small boat. Every morning I'd sit by the water, close my eyes, and breathe. One evening, as the sun dipped into the ocean, I whispered, "It's over." For 18 years, I had lived in darkness, not knowing, not questioning, just existing. Now I knew the truth. It didn't set me free, but it gave me something better. Closure. They took everything from me. My family, my time, my peace. But they couldn't take my soul. That I reclaimed. And if you're watching this, remember, sometimes revenge isn't about hurting those who hurt you. It's about waking up after years of being asleep and choosing to live again. Because the most powerful revenge is survival.